Hello, good evening. It's News 360 coming to you live from the News Hub here at Adesawe Kanda. I am Portia Gabor.
And I am Martin Asiedu. Here are the headlines for the next 1 hour.
News 360 headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal.
National Intelligence Bureau invites former Minister for Railway Development Dartey for questioning.
Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources initiates steps in a bid to move out all illegal miners from forest reserves and on water bodies.
Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana demands immediate investigations into named pharmaceutical importers allegedly responsible for importing highly dangerous opioids into the country.
Coming up in business news, calls for tax review gain momentum ahead of 2025 budget presentation by the finance minister slated for March 11.
And on the international front, Britain to introduce sanctions soon against Rwanda over fighting in neighboring Congo. We are live around the world on 3news.com. That's our website, and we would be happy to hear from you on the many stories we have for you tonight.
The news now in detail, and the National Intelligence Bureau, NIB, has detained Yao Danso, an accountant at the National Service Authority, in connection with the ghost names payroll scandal that has rocked the institution. His arrest follows that of Kweku Ohenijan, the former Deputy Director of Operations at the National Service Authority, who was taken into custody on Saturday, February 22. Gifty Owarimensa, the former Deputy Executive Director of the NSA, also remains on the run as authorities intensify their search for suspects linked to the fraudulent payroll scheme. Meanwhile, the Intelligence Bureau has also invited former Minister of Railway Development Dartey for questioning regarding the controversial Ghana Sky Train project. Sources indicate that Mr. Dartey, who served as minister from 2017 to 2021, is being questioned as part of ongoing investigation into the feasibility and financial dealings of the ambitious urban railway initiative. This follows earlier reports that other key officials involved in the project have also been called in by the NIB. The Ghana Sky Train project was announced in 2018 as a major infrastructure initiative to tackle urban traffic congestion, particularly in Accra. Under Dartey's leadership, Ghana signed a concession agreement with Africa Investment Sky Train Consortium in 2019 with an estimated cost of $3 billion. However, the project never took off and concerns were raised about its feasibility and financing.
Let's shift our attention to some other very disturbing reports of opioid outbreak in Ghana, where some youth, we are told, have become addicted to the use of some specific medications. On the back of that, the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana is demanding immediate investigations into named pharmaceutical importers who allegedly are responsible for importing highly dangerous opioids into the country. A recent Africa Eye investigation has revealed that Ghana has become a transit point for dangerous substances to other West African countries. Per their investigations, an Indian company, Avio Pharmaceuticals, has been exporting Trafadol, Timaking, and Super Royal 225. These three I have just mentioned are specific medications. Now, the company, we are told, is importing these items into the country via the support of local pharmaceutical companies. According to the Pharmaceutical Society, relevant investigative bodies must come together to investigate and prosecute all companies that are involved. Let's walk you through some of the key specifics of what the Ghana Pharmaceutical Society is demanding. Now, they are calling on the FDA, the Pharmacy Council, the Ghana Revenue Authority, Customs Division, the CID, the Narcotics Control Authority, and the National Investigations Bureau, and all relevant authorities to expedite action and prosecute culprits. The Ghana Revenue Authority, Customs Division, and Immigration Service must strengthen border surveillance to prevent entry of such drugs. The FDA and the Pharmacy Council should intensify monitoring of pharmaceutical imports and enforce stricter penalties for non-compliance. And those are key highlights of the statement from the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana following, the importation of some opioids, which we are told a number of young people, specifically around the northern part of the country, have become addicted to. Now, let's get some specifics. So, the company that was mentioned in the Africa Eye BBC documentary is Samos Pharma Limited. Now, that company is a local pharmaceutical company here in Ghana, and they have been accused in the BBC investigation piece. Eugene Boache is the managing director of the company. He's joined us of our phone for a quick conversation regarding these allegations that have been leveled against his company. I'm told he's joined us via Zoom. Mr. Boache, good evening, and thank you for joining us on TV3.
Yeah, good evening, Martin. Thank you for having me.
First of all, what would your response be that your company allegedly has been importing some opioids into the country, which unfortunately some Ghanaian youth, and for that matter, other youth in the West African sub-region, are getting addicted to?
Well, Martin, as we condemn and we do not subscribe to any pharmaceutical company importing such harmful medications to Ghana to destroy the future of our youth. As a business and as a company, Samos Pharma has never imported any of such medications into Ghana.
At all? You have not imported, is the Trafadol and the Timaking, is it they call it, into the country? You do not import any such medication?
We've not imported Trafadol, we've not imported Timaking, we've not imported Royal whatever. We've not imported any variant of carpentadol and carisoprodol or any in any shape or form into Ghana ever. So
how come it is your company that is in the middle of the storm? I mean, BBC and the platform has mentioned you specifically as the importer of these medications, specifically into Ghana.
Yes, so when you watch the BBC documentary, they are basing all the allegation on export data from India that says that there are shipments of tapentadol and carisoprodol to Ghana, and the importer is Samos Pharma. Now, these matters came to our attention late December. And we because we have never done any such imports, or these companies that these export reports are claiming that we are importing this product from, we do not work with them. We quickly reported these matters to the CID headquarters of the Ghana Police Service. Reported to the FD of Ghana, and also petitioned the Indian High Commission, because as far as Samos Pharma is concerned, we've never dealt with this product or these companies. And so what came to, when it came to attention, what we could only think of was somebody or some entity criminally impersonating us in dealing with this illegal trade. So we've made these reports to the relevant authorities, and we expect that they are conducting the necessary investigation to unravel the real culprits behind this trade, and are just using Samos Pharma impersonating us in this trade.
Right. So that definitely must be taking a toll on your company. Have you taken steps to at least clean or clear the air regarding how this is connected to you? And while at that, have you actually done any business with the company in question, the Indian company called Asiedu Pharmaceuticals? Have you dealt with them, or do you do business with them?
Right. So what we have done when these documentary and other things came to our attention is that, in our view, the BBC African Eye investigative journalists did a poorly job. They at never around any point in their investigation came to our office to even pretend to, even assuming without admitting that we are selling, pretend to buying this product and to get evidence that we actually deal in this product. And so our lawyers have taken the steps. We've already written to the BBC and the African Eye with a cease and desist letter. We have also given instructions to our lawyers to go ahead and file a defamatory suit, because we think that if they had done a proper investigative work, they would have known that Samos Pharma is a very, and not the people perpetuating this illegality. So we've taken those steps. And to answer your second question, at no point in our trading history have we dealt with Asiedu Pharmaceutical Limited. No, not.
At all?
At all, yes.
Okay. Mr. Wache, we would have to leave it here for now, but thank you for making time to speak with us.
Thank you, Martin, for having us and giving us the chance to.
On TV3, we move on to some other stories we have for you tonight.
Yes, in more news tonight, the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program says it will refer findings of alleged illegalities and administrative lapses under the previous leadership to the Attorney General for further investigations and possible action. This comes as management ordered the suspension of all staff, citing unresolved employment and legal issues. Noble Crosby-Hannon has more.
The program is under scrutiny following a directive to suspend staff of unresolved employment and legal concerns. A memo dated February 21, 2025 from the NEIP management instructed employees not to report to work from Monday, February 24, until issues are fully addressed. Head of Research and Innovation, Caspar Campoli, explained that the move is part of efforts to correct illegalities overseen by the previous administration, including the non-payment of staff social security benefits. He describes the suspension as a temporary measure aimed at restructuring the program.
You can't continue to perpetuating this illegality by saying that you are paying people's salary, but not people's allowance. You're not paying their any contributions. Even the amount that they are supposed to be paid is not even stated on paper. So management decided that the best thing to do is to make sure that these appointments or this employment are suspended temporarily for the restructuring process to come to an end. So it's a temporal measure to make sure that we have space to do the restructuring of the program.
He further noted that some affected staff will be reinstated once the restructuring is complete.
Leadership has changed, but the vision, the focus of NEIP hasn't changed. So definitely some will be brought back anytime soon, based on what is needed to make sure that NEIP is reset to do what His Excellency Dorma wanted it to do. If we need more hands, we'll add more hands to those who have been suspended. If we need to do 10, we'll do with 10. If you don't need 19, we won't bring 19 people here.
Okay.
Government is doing with 60. If there's need that we even do 5 people here, we'll do the 5.
Campoli added that any findings of illegalities or poor administrative practices will be referred to the Attorney General and other relevant bodies for investigations and necessary action.
These are preliminary findings. we'll be referring whatever we'll find here to the Attorney General Department and other bodies that have the mandate to do these things. So on our part, what we see in face value is that certain things are not in line with the best practice that we've accepted as a country. So we think that things have to be done differently. But what will be done with those irregularities, those illegalities that some of the previous administration staff even think that they shouldn't be done because...
Despite the suspensions, he assured that operations at NEIP are ongoing and have not come to a halt.
There are people here working. I am part of the people. We have other departments that are working. So the restructuring process is ongoing.
So you're working, you have an appointment letter?
Yes.
Did they have all the requirements of an appointment letter?
Yeah, the CEO appointed me.
Okay. And that's different from how it was before?
Yes.
Noble Crosby-Annan, TV3 News, Accra.
President of NAGRAT, Angel Kabonu, has debunked claims that organized labor was bribed by President John Mahama to accept the 10% salary increment. He has cautioned those accusing the union leaders of bribery to desist from it. He spoke exclusively to our labor correspondent, Daniel Opoku.
In 2021 and 2022, organized labor came under severe criticism for accepting 4% and 7% salary increment. Some union leaders were almost attacked by their members. In 2023, government granted 30%, and in 2024, it dropped to 25%. In 2025, President John Dramani Mahama stepped into negotiations with labor on salary increment. He appealed to labor to accept 10% until the economy bounces back. Since then, leadership of organized labor has been criticized for accepting the 10%. President of NAGRAT, Angel Kabonu, said President John Dramani Mahama virtually begged labor to accept the percentage.
The president himself said that he is going beyond appealing and that he was begging labor. And these are the president's own words. So when the president left, labor deliberated on the matter and realized that this no more is the normal negotiation that we have been having, because the president of the land have come to virtually beg labor that if we are not careful, we are going to push this economy into the doldrums, and even the few jobs that we have may not even be there. So labor bought into the president's appeal. Where is the intimidation? Where is the bribery? Where is the manipulation here?
Already, members have seriously accused the leadership for bribery, but the president of NAGRAT has rejected those accusations.
Let people talk the way they want, but for you to be accusing people, so when the president was coming, did he hold a portmanteau full of money to distribute? I mean, how can people be talking like this? How can people be talking like that? No, absolutely not. It was not even easy for leadership after the president left. We had to go into serious deliberations. So people who are politicians, who are not labor men and women, go to make statements on open media that are totally unfounded.
He renewed the commitment of union leaders to continue engaging government to demand higher in their subsequent negotiations.
Every negotiation has its own dynamics. The economic situation, the dwindling nature of your value, the value of your currency, the general working wherewithal, and all that we brought into bear when negotiations are being entered. We are not likely to accept something that will make us impoverished.
Meanwhile, NAGRAT has called for a review of disciplinary actions in senior high schools. It contends this will strengthen heads of institutions to deal with recalcitrant students. President of the association, Angel Kabonu, was reacting to the shutdown of the Sokode Senior High School.
Over the weekend, some students of Sokode Senior High Technical clashed with the community. This compelled management and Ghana Education Service to shut down the school. The Ghana Education Service has since directed investigations into the matter. The National Association of Graduate Teachers in NAGRAT has condemned the incident. Its president, Gabor, has requested the Ministry of Education to review the disciplinary actions in schools.
Someone goes to senior high school with a certain aggregate. After first year, the person is not performing. The person did not come to school to learn. And then you say that person should remain there from first year, second year, third year, and go out of the school. So we are not even repeating people for people to re-evaluate themselves. We are not withdrawing people for lack of performance. There is someone, since he came to first year, did not attend classes till he was writing exams at the third year. And when heads of schools want to take disciplinary measures, you tell the heads of schools that the dispensation that we are in, you cannot take measures to withdraw students. We need a total overhaul for the disciplinary regime that we have in our schools.
In a related development, NAGRAT has engaged female heads of senior high schools about challenges they face in their schools. The heads of the institutions were drawn from Greater Accra, Eastern and Volta regions. The heads were concerned about the lack of resources to manage the schools. The president of the National Association of Graduate Teachers in NAGRAT, Gabor, asked duty bearers to be swift in addressing the resource challenge.
If the head of school could establish a relationship with somebody within the community or people within the community.
Now let's go to the Volta region, where the chiefs of Sokode, Eto and Bogame have condemned Saturday night's bloody unrest between students of the Sokode Secondary Technical School and some youth of Bogame. The chiefs at separate press engagements on Sunday urged the police to fast-track investigations and bring the perpetrators to book.
We condemn what happened yesterday. We do not in any way support wrongdoing. We are even shocked that some of the town folks who went there yesterday are former students of the school. We urge the police to fast-track their investigations and ensure that those who are culpable are brought to book. We are appealing to the government, the Minister of Education and the various stakeholders to ensure that this issue is resolved quickly and the school open as soon as possible. We do know that not all of the students were involved, just a few of them, and that should not be allowed to affect the entire school.
Our attention is being drawn on all the false rumors that are making the news headlines that this violence is under the instruction of the traditional leaders of Sokode Bogame. We hereby refute any claims. Again, we hereby refute any claims or false rumors. We want to caution the media on their reportage that whatever they will say or report they should be very circumspect, and it should be nothing but the truth. We are ready to support the Ghana Police Service to bring all these perpetrators of this evil act to book. We also want to say that Sokode Bogame is a peace-loving community.
Away from the Volta region, the Savannah Regional Minister has led a joint security committee to Bole to engage residents for their support to deal with the unresolved killings in Bole. Speaking to journalists, the minister emphasized that the Regional and Municipal Security Committee will collaborate to unravel the mysteries behind the deaths.
On Saturday, February 8th, the lifeless body of a middle-aged man was found in a big rubbish container near a toilet at Mimpiasam in Bole town with hands and legs tied.
It you see behind me happens to be the place where the last body that was allegedly killed and deposited was recovered or retrieved by residents.
His alleged killing brought back traumatic memories of murders some few months ago. This brought the number of unresolved murders in Bole to 23 since 2022.
We were just there and they called that they killed him unexplained. And the people who killed him, we don't know. Up to now, we are still looking up to how we can see those who do that.
Since assuming office as Savannah Regional Minister, Salisu Biaworobe has been emphasizing the need for peace and security in the region. Speaking to journalists after a working visit to Bole on the unresolved murders, the minister indicated strongly that the heightened security intelligence and the type of surveillance to be put in place will provide positive outcomes.
So the regional security architecture and the municipal security architecture are going to put some strategies in place. What I would just call is the assistance of our own people on the ground and the collaborative effort of all and sundry to be able to come up with the perpetrators and deal decisively with them. But anyone who is either contemplating or is engaged in this enterprise, the person can only run but cannot hide. The heightened security intelligence that we are going to deploy, and then the type of surveillance that we are going to put in place. No way that such group of people can go unescaped. They must definitely be brought to book. It can only delay, but it cannot stop. And we are looking forward to making sure that we get the best out of this situation.
In July last year, the Ghana Police Service deployed a specialized team to Bole and its surrounding areas to assist the Regional Police Command in investigating 3 reported cases of unnatural deaths over the past 6 months. The experts include a crime scene management team, forensic experts, intelligence officers, and homicide investigators who are in the region to work with the Regional Command on the case. The youth of the area also staged a demonstration to demand actions by police and National Security Minister.
Now, the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, has charged members of the Council of State to endeavor to work and help shape government policies and ensure equity and transparency. She says the country seriously needs resetting, and the council members' advice to the president should always be in the interest of Ghana.
The Vice President was speaking at an orientation program for the Council of State members at Peduase.
This reset is not mere rhetoric. It is a pressing demand to overhaul the systems that have hindered our advancement and to create a governance model that is effective, forward-looking, suited to the challenges and opportunities of the 21st century. The success of this mission is inextricably intertwined with your responsibility to dispel the popular accusation of merely existing to validate predetermined decisions.
She asked that the Council's deliberation be above partisanship.
Your tenure must redefine the Council's role, transforming it from its perceptively passive advisory body into an active institution that anticipates challenges, offers bold recommendations, and demands accountability. This requires engaging proactively, commissioning research, addressing policy gaps, and ensuring government discussions prioritize the national interest over short-term gains.
Chairman of the Council, Edward Do Ajaho, urged members to use their prestige to champion collaboration that will satisfy the Ghanaian people, particularly the youth, and not the political class.
Let us use our prestige and visibility to guide His Excellency, the President of the Republic, and other institutions of state, and reassure the young people of this country that there is a future for them. We must therefore be transparent and collaborative in what we seek to do, and appreciate the shades of opinion and unique insights, as well as the perspectives that may come up at the Council's deliberations on presidential referrals and recommendations to His Excellency the President and institutions of governance.
He says their advice and recommendations to the executive must be credible, and they should at all times speak truth to power.
In more news tonight, government says it is not relenting in its efforts to bring an end to illegal mining. The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources has initiated steps in a bid to move out all illegal miners from forest reserves and on water bodies.
For months, illegal miners took over portions of all 6 forest reserves within the Nkawie Forest District in Ashanti region. Attempts by forest guards to move them out were unsuccessful. Several hectares were destroyed to pave way for the extraction of gold, particularly within the Ofin shelter belt, Asinanyo, and Jimira forest reserves. But government, in a renewed effort to reclaim all Ghana's water bodies and forest reserves, has begun clamping down on these illegal miners. A joint police-military team deployed to the Ofin Shelter Bed Forest Reserve seized 15 excavators and arrested some of the miners.
My message to our young people who want to do mining is that there's a pathway for doing the right mining. But we are not going to spare anybody who ventures to do illegal mining in our forest reserve, and we've made it clear. In the coming weeks, you will see steps being taken by the Minister of Environment, Science and Technology to Parliament, basically forever repeal 2463, taking away even the power of the President to grant anybody license to mine in forest reserve. Having reclaimed this shelter belt on the Ofin is to all of the thugs that are in all the other 43 forest reserve. We are coming to you. We are coming after you.
In compliance with a directive by President Mahama on the handling of seized excavators, the chairman of the Ashanti Regional Security Council, Dr. Frank Amoakwene, has this to say.
His Excellency the President instructed clearly that we should not burn them or damage them. They will be put to good use to make sure that we use the machines to support the work at the municipals and at the various district assemblies. So we add them to the drip pool of machines that will be used for road construction, among other sanitation issues within the districts.
To be successful in the fight this time, the Lands and Natural Resource Ministry says site owners and financiers of the illegal activities would be fished out and prosecuted. The question that many are asking is how sustainable would this operation be? Because over the years, we've seen similar operations, but it ended up failing. This time around, the public is expecting to see a sustained effort and for the first time winning the battle against these illegal miners. Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Amiafutu, Nkawie, Ashanti region.
Still watching News 360 on TV3. Stay with us. When we return, we'll let you know what's happening in the world of business.
Hello there, good evening and welcome to the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obodu. With just weeks to the presentation of the 2025 budget, pressure is mounting on the government to review various tax policies. Industry players and financial analysts are urging the Finance Minister, Dr. Kasiel Atto-Forson, to introduce measures that will ease the tax burden and support business growth when he presents the budget statement in Parliament on March 11.
Speaking on Business Focus, Chairman of the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana, John Awuni, emphasized the need for a more business-friendly environment to support industrial growth.
The manufacturing sector currently is overburdened with high level of taxes. Electricity is a major issue. The amount of money they pay on electricity is major. And then also we talk about the taxes, particularly in our food and beverage sector. I have said so many times that the excise tax that the government or the previous government applied on that sector more or less grounded the sector to a halt. People who bought new plants had to abandon those plants.
Meanwhile, financial analyst and chief executive of Dalex Finance, Joe Jackson, has urged the government to reconsider plans to abolish certain taxes, including the betting tax. He believes a careful approach is needed to balance revenue generation with economic growth.
Ghanaians don't want the e-levy.
Fair point.
They don't want it. So it's neither here nor there. And it's a major campaign promise. But the money that we lose from the e-levy has got to be, that hole has to be either made up with new tax handles or widening the tax net or reducing expenditure. That is where the problem is.
As expectations build ahead of the budget's presentation, businesses and analysts continue to push for tax reforms that will boost economic activity and investor confidence.
Now, the Minister of Transport, Joseph Bukari-Nikpe, has hinted of plans to streamline operations at the port as part of efforts to reduce the cost of doing business in the country. He made this known during a working visit to the Ghana Shippers Authority.
According to the minister, several reports on recurring challenges faced by shippers and shipping service providers have been brought to his attention. He assured stakeholders that he will make every effort to address these issues holistically to foster economic growth and position Ghana as a leading maritime hub in the sub-region.
His Excellency the President, during the 2024 electioneering campaign, made a promise of reducing cost of doing business in our ports, and that we are going to come by a revision of our governing laws, the duties, the taxes, and the levies. So we feel that that is an area when we put in place, it will be able to get them to the decision of leaving, especially the fact that there were other government bureaucracies, government agencies having a lot of conflicting roles in the port, such that you from one table to another and they all seem to be performing the same function. This is what we are going to look at and streamline things at the port, such that they will have an easy way of doing business. And when we review the governing laws, that will bring in more of the ship owners to do business in our seaport.
Now, Vivo Energy Ghana, an exclusive distributor of Shell-branded fuel and lubricants, has rewarded its distributors, acknowledging their contribution to keeping them as #1. At an awards night, the company pledged to produce high-quality lubricants to safeguard vehicles.
About 20 awards were presented to deserving distributors across the country for exceptional business performance, making Shell lubricants #1 on the Ghanaian market. Acting Managing Director for Vivo Energy Ghana, Kilai Mwasia, pledged the commitment of the company to set the benchmark for excellence.
We are committed to delivering cutting-edge, eco-friendly lubricants that meet local market demands while aligning with global sustainability goals. By fostering on long-term partnerships with you, our key stakeholders, we aim to optimize performance across various industries, thereby solidifying our position as a leader in the lubricant market.
Technical lead for Vivo Energy Ghana, Kofi Boakye-Agyeman, stressed improved quality for the Ghanaian market.
Looking at automotives, industrial lubricants, we are still number one. We have products that speak to modern technology, modern catalytic converters technology, products that talk about environmental sustainability. So in terms of value, don't look anywhere, look at Shell. We have everything to meet automotive and industrial application.
One of the winners praised Vivo Energy's support in helping them grow their businesses.
Shell is doing us a lot as compared to with the other brands that we're dealing with. They've been even increasing our incentives, which is a plus to us concerning, because when it comes to the incentives, it is when I use those money to pay my workers.
Vivo Energy Ghana distributes Shell branded fuel and lubricants to retail and commercial customers in Ghana.
Nestle Ghana Limited has unveiled its newly redesigned packaging for Nido, a cherished milk powder brand that has been nourishing families across the country for generations. This initiative highlights Nestle's commitment to providing nutritious product offerings and its ongoing efforts to minimize environmental impact.
Nestle Ghana is actively involved in various sustainable initiatives, including waste management programs and the adoption of renewable energy sources within its operations. Corporate Communication and Public Affairs Manager Deborah Kwabla stressed the company's commitment in promoting healthier environment for the well-being of future generations.
What you do with packaging redesign that makes it sustainable is to make sure that the materials that you choose to design the packaging are recyclable, and that's exactly what we've done. We've carefully selected the material that we use in designing the new Nido look to make sure that it's easier to recycle.
Category Manager for Dairy, Gilbert Trinibo-Akodia, reassured consumers that the new packaging does not compromise on the quality and content of Nido milk powder, and price remains unchanged.
The recipe of Nido that you have known for years and ages is what is in. What we have done is we have redesigned it, we've made it more beautiful, more reflective of our sustainability agenda. So you see the green parts that we have now elaborated. We have introduced the role we play in helping school children become more active in school. And so you will see a school child on our sachet and even more school learning elements just to encourage children. That is why we have redesigned all of this.
Nestle Ghana envisions to provide nutritious food and beverages to improve quality of life.
And that'll be all for the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obodu. Up next, the sports.
Upgrade with your recoded
Hello, good evening and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360 with me, Oreku Ampofo. Asante Kotoko have announced that they will get back to competitive football after the final funeral rite of Nana Bole on March 6. They have been growing concerns for the resumption of the league as clubs continue to pay players' salaries despite the lack of competitive action. Asante Kotoko's head of public relations, Safo Duku, acknowledged these concerns, stating that the calls are justified and emphasized the need to align with football timelines.
And then on the issue of financial costs, we have continued to pay for salaries and all other costs. We have never relied on gate process, as you know. So in effect, we are in line with our recurrent expenditure. Everything is going on. In fact, by the 20th of this month, we had paid our salaries. There has been any official contact from Nswatrema FC, to the best of my knowledge, belief, and understanding. We are here to hear from them officially. Well, we are not into war with Nswatre, either the football club or the citizens of Nswatre. We are one people. We are only fighting for a just cause. We shall allow the security agencies to do their work. But trust me, the incident has happened already. We treat this as one of those issues, but we shall insist that justice is served. That's why we shall insist on that. We shall not compromise on that. But there's no war between us. The only thing is that we need to satisfy ourselves that they see, the corporates have been brought to book, so that to prevent future occurrences. That's why we are seeking. We are seeking for justice. We cannot bring Pole back to life, and we cannot treat Nswatre people as our enemies. No. But we shall.
Let's do some more stories where former Manchester United defender Rio Ferdinand has waded in on the ongoing discussion of the Africa Cup of Nations being considered as a major tournament. This follows comments from Liverpool legend Jamie Carragher downplaying the continental showpiece and not regarding it as a major tournament.
The African Nations Cup, if you go to Didier Drogba, Abidi Pele, over there Samuel Eto'o, down to the
all
players
guys.
now, Mahrez, Mo Salah, Mane now,
Yeah.
they'll tell you this is that we have to win this. It's
Huge.
a demand in their countries
Yeah.
to win this. Yes, it doesn't get back to resources wise like Euros, etc. But doesn't that mean that you have to devalue it? It's a continent of huge power, a continent that contributes to European football through players immensely, massively. Like the amount of players that are representing football clubs in Europe and winning things from the African continent is like
crazy.
It's a ridiculous number of players. So it should be respected more than it is.
Yeah.
But what I would say is because of the lack of resources that are put into it. And listen, we've had some African players that come out and have actually canned it for the lack of resources and hotel rooms and what goes on. Flight issues, etc. So.
To the Premier League, where Chelsea manager Enzo Maresca has reaffirmed his faith with young goalkeeper Philippe Jorgensen despite his horror show at Villa Park over the weekend. Jorgensen was responsible for Villa's second goal after a timely mistake led to Marco Asensio's late winner. Despite this, Chelsea boss Maresca has reaffirmed his commitment to the goalkeeper.
It's okay. You feel a little bit sad or upset because he recognized that has been a mistake, but it's okay. Overall, it's okay. For sure, we don't, if we need to change players every time they do a mistake, we need to change players game by game, many players, but no, it's not nothing changed. It's like this. We ask for a better performance compared to Brighton one, and I think the performance was there. We didn't deserve the final result, but we need to accept that. And as I said, probably in this moment is not.
Well, that's how we wrap up the sports segment here on News 360. If you're after some more news, you can follow us on social media at 3SportsGH or on 3News/sports. My name is Ore Kwampo, and up next on the bulletin is Entertainment with Adrianuela.
Entertainment news segment is brought to you by Napa Foods, Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil, powered by 3 Entertainment.
Good evening. Let's get into some entertainment news updates here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko. Now, the Minister for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Honorable Jefa Gomashi, has urged parents to prioritize teaching their children local languages as a way to preserve Ghana's culture and heritage. Now, she made these remarks during an event held to celebrate this year's International Mother Language Day in Ghana.
This year marks the 25th anniversary of International Mother Language Day, highlighting efforts to preserve linguistic diversity and promote mother tongues. The event emphasizes the importance of language preservation in safeguarding cultural heritage, improving education, and fostering peaceful societies. In Ghana, the Bureau of Ghana Languages hosted a special event to commemorate this day. During her speech, Minister Jefa Gomashi emphasized the importance of teaching children their local languages, underscoring its power in sustaining cultural identity and heritage.
And all of you middle-class people who think English is everything, your language too is something. I wrote a poem and I wrote one line in Albert, and it's the reason why I'm the interim chairperson of the Commission of the African Union. Just because of that one line. And it shows the power of what language can do. So our children must learn our languages, and they have the potential and the capacity to learn 6 languages at a time. Science has proven that.
Now to some more stories. At the 31st Screen Actors Guild Awards, Conclave won the Best Ensemble and Timothée Chalamet took Best Actor, adding surprises to an unpredictable award season. Now Conclave, a Vatican-set drama by Edward Berger, won just as Pope Francis remained in critical condition. The film's cast, led by Ray Fiennes, shared well wishes for the Pope. Going into the event, Anora had momentum with wins at other guilds, but with Conclave also winning at the BAFTAs, the Best Picture race for the Academy Awards, remains uncertain. Chalamet's Best Actor win for playing Bob Dylan in A Complete Unknown shocked many, including Chalamet himself, who expressed his gratitude and ambition to achieve greatness. Other Oscar favorites like Demi Moore, Zoe Saldana, and Kieran Culkin also won. Now, while SAG picks don't always align with the Academy, they often serve as a strong Oscar indicator. The past 3 SAG Best Ensemble winners went on to win the Best Picture, and most acting SAG winners have taken home Oscars as well, with the exception of Lily Gladstone, who lost the Oscar to Emma Stone last year. Well, that's it for the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko.
Coming up, international news.
Britain will introduce sanctions soon against Rwanda over fighting in neighboring Congo, a minister in the UK Foreign Office told Reuters on Monday. Asked if Britain would impose sanctions on Rwanda, Ray Collins, who covers Africa policy as a junior minister in the Foreign Office, replied yes. Asked when, he said soon. The UK has made its position clear to Rwanda and will act soon. Rwanda is facing global pressure over allegations it supports the M23 group, which since January has captured swaths of eastern Congo, including the cities of Goma and Bukavu. French President Emmanuel Macron has arrived at the White House for talks with US President Donald Trump on the 3rd anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Earlier, Ukrainian President Zelensky said, "We hope that we can finish this war this year, not in 3, at a summit of Western leaders in Kiev.
Some very good talks with others, and we're trying to get the war ended with Russia and Ukraine, and I think we've come a long way in a short period of weeks.
But Ukraine needs security guarantees to prevent Moscow returning, Zelensky warned.
in Ukraine, and I think our common objective clearly is to build peace, and a solid and long-standing peace. And this is what we will discuss, obviously, because I have great respect for the bravery and the resistance of Ukrainian people, and we do share the objective of peace, but we are very aware of the necessity to have guarantees and solid peace in order to stabilize the situation.
Suggesting EU and NATO membership will help. Russia has consistently opposed the idea of Ukraine joining NATO.
And that's how we bring the bulletin to an end. Thank you so much for watching. I am Martin Asiedu Dartey.
And I am Portia. Gabor. Do join Alfredo Cancer at 10 p.m. for Ghana Tonight. Good evening.